I'm sitting in my car outside the restaurant right now, watching my husband laugh at something my sister just said. The divorce papers are burning a hole in my purse. Both signatures already on them. Mine and hers. 3 months ago, I found the lease agreement in his jacket pocket. Not for our house. For a downtown apartment I'd never seen. Sarah's name next to his like they were playing house. My sister. My fucking sister, who I called crying when I thought he was having an affair with someone at work. We've been married 8 years. 2 kids, ages 5 and 7. I thought we were solid. Sure, the working late thing was new, but I trusted him. He'd come home at midnight smelling like perfume I didn't recognize, claiming client dinners ran long. I believed him because I wanted to. Because admitting the truth meant admitting I was stupid. I trusted her too. She'd come over for Sunday dinners, play with my kids, ask how married life was treating me with that sympathetic smile. She'd listen to me complain about how distant he'd become, how he barely touched me anymore, how he seemed distracted during family time. The whole time she was meeting him after work. The whole time she knew where he really was when I was putting our babies to bed alone, wondering what I'd done wrong. The signs were everywhere. His phone face down constantly. New cologne. The way he'd shower immediately when he got home, even on days he claimed he'd been in meetings all day. Sarah canceling our girls' nights more often, saying she was seeing someone but being coy about details. I asked if I knew him. She said maybe. I confronted her first. Showed up at her place with a lease agreement, hands shaking. She didn't even try to deny it. Just stood there in his Columbia University t-shirt, the one I bought him for his birthday last year, and asked if I was going to tell him I knew. Like we were teenagers and I'd caught her borrowing my clothes without asking. It just happened, she said, not meeting my eyes. You don't understand him like I do. You two have been growing apart for months. 8 years of marriage and she understands him better after 3 months of stolen afternoons in their secret apartment. 3 months of lies while I made his dinner every night and folded his laundry and asked how his day went. 3 months of him kissing me goodbye in the morning before going to work, then to her. I should have screamed. Should have hit her. Should have called him right there and exploded both their worlds immediately. Instead, I asked her to sign the divorce papers I'd already prepared. My lawyer said having her signature would make things cleaner. She looked relieved when she signed, like I'd just solved her biggest problem. He's cutting her steak right now. Probably the same way he used to cut mine when we were dating, back when he thought I was worth taking care of. They're celebrating something tonight. Maybe it's their 3-month anniversary. Maybe it's the day they decided I was disposable enough to replace. The hostess is walking toward their table. I gave her $50 to deliver the envelope at exactly 8:30. I wanted them to be mid-toast when their perfect little bubble burst. He opens it. His face goes completely white. He shows Sarah the papers. She nods like she knew this was coming, like they discussed what would happen when I finally figured it out. They both look toward the window where I'm parked. I wave, smiling like I'm happy for them. He's not running after me. Neither is she. They're just sitting there, holding hands across the table like they're the victims in this story. No phone calls. No text begging me to wait, to talk, to give him a chance to explain. Just my husband and my sister, choosing each other right in front of me. I'm driving home to tell my kids their aunt won't be coming to Sunday dinner anymore. The kids cried when I told them Daddy and Aunt Sarah were going away together. My 5-year-old asked if it was because she'd been bad. I wanted to say yes, Sarah had been very bad, but Emma meant herself. She thought she'd done something wrong. That's what this does to children, makes them blame themselves for adult failures. The divorce was finalized in 6 weeks. No contest. Hard to argue when your affair partner already signed the papers admitting guilt. He moved into Sarah's apartment that same day, like he'd been planning it for months. She'd been posting Instagram stories from their new place before I'd even finished packing his things. Pictures of coffee cups and city views with captions about new beginnings. My mother hasn't spoken to me since I told her what happened. Apparently I'm tearing the family apart by not forgiving them. She said Sarah made a mistake but she's still my sister. My dad was worse, said maybe if I'd been a better wife, kept myself up better, been more attentive, this wouldn't have happened. My own parents invited them to Christmas dinner. I spent it alone with my kids, watching them FaceTime with Daddy and their fun Aunt Sarah, who now gets to play mommy on weekends. The custody arrangement is brutal. Every other weekend plus Wednesday dinners. He picks them up from the house I can't afford anymore because his child support barely covers daycare, let alone the mortgage on our dream home. The kids come back with stories about Sarah making pancakes shaped like Mickey Mouse and taking them to museums and parks. All the things I used to do with them, But now she's the fun one and I'm the tired single mom who can barely afford groceries. My daughter's teacher asked why a different woman was at the school play. I had to explain that Daddy has a new girlfriend while standing in line with other parents who suddenly found the floor very interesting. I watched Sarah sit in the front row taking pictures while I stood in the back, relegated to observer status at my own child's performance. Work became hell. Everyone knows. Small company, smaller town. They're not mean about it, but I see the looks. The how did she not know whispers in the break room that stop when I walk in. The invitations to couples game nights and barbecues that stop coming because nobody wants divorced woman energy ruining their perfect marriages. I'm a reminder that it can happen to anyone. I had to delete social media after seeing their engagement photos. Same restaurant where I served them divorce papers, like they were making some twisted statement. Sarah wearing the exact ring style I'd shown him 2 years ago when we talked about upgrading mine for our 10-year anniversary. The comments were full of people congratulating them on their beautiful love story. Nobody mentioned the wife and kids they destroyed to write it. The kids started calling her mom Sarah a month ago. Not to hurt me, they're too young to be cruel. Just because that's who she is to them now. The woman who makes their breakfast on weekends and buys them toys and doesn't cry in the bathroom when she thinks they're not looking. I found out from my neighbor that he proposed at the same park where we got engaged. Sarah said yes in the exact spot where I'd said yes 8 years ago. Even their love story is plagiarized from mine. The worst part isn't the money or the loneliness or even losing half my time with my kids. It's realizing how easily I was replaced. How quickly our entire life became their life. How my sister had been studying my marriage like a blueprint, taking notes on what made him happy so she could do it better. She knew his favorite foods because she'd eaten Sunday dinner at our table. She knew his moods because I'd vented to her about his bad days. She knew exactly what she was taking because she'd watched me live it for 8 years. I keep thinking about that night at the restaurant. How neither of them chased after me. How they probably finished their dinner and went back to the apartment they'd been sharing while I slept alone in our bed. How this was always going to be the ending, and I was the only one who didn't know. The person who comforts you through your marriage problems might be the one creating them. Trust me, I learned this lesson with divorce papers and a custody schedule.